Hello, wonderful people. How are you today, this 26th day of April? Welcome in, welcome back. Welcome to those of you here for the first time. We're so happy to have you. Those returning, I always appreciate you. Please put a 1 in if you can hear me, please. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, welcome in tonight to our first virtual vigil on this channel. It is so nice to see you, mods. Thank you so much for being here. Everyone else, thank you so very much for being here. We're going to give people a little time to come in, and I am going to say thank you. This is going to be 14 months today. It is 14 months today since Sebastian Rogers was last seen. And many more who have been gone longer and some shorter that are still not home. Hey, Smiley's World, how are you? Thank you for being here. Hi, CC. Hey, Peggy, Holly, Janet. So good to see you all. Hi, NJs. Thank you for being here. All music tonight is credit to Seashore Annie. Please go over to her channel if you'd be so willing after this and subscribe to her. She has wonderful music. We are gathering tonight to unify, strengthen, and move forward. The unity is so important. We're here for the right reasons. There's been a lot of emotions going on, explosions, stress, and I thought this might be a good way for us to gather and really talk about, think about, pray about the missing children and Sebastian Rogers. And that was my goal for today. And I thank you all so much for being here. I'm a tad bit nervous. I'm normally not nervous. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you. We are Sebastian's Army. We truly are. I have fabulous mods in the house. Thank you all for being here and everyone coming in. I'm going to start with a song. And I bought a new MacBook, as you know, because I'm on computer number 3 in 11 weeks. And I had to go back to my MacBook. It's working beautifully, except thank goodness I did a test record. My audio is not coming out. So we're on this other one. So forgive the clicking and the not great sound. I really did. I went out, I invested, I was working on it, and that one thing. So bear with me. Thank you so much for being here for the children. Hard to believe Sebastian's been gone 14 months. Summer has been gone almost in 2 months. It'll be 4 years. Michael Vaughn, it will be 4 years. There's been an arrest there lately. So we have a lot to discuss tonight to honor the kids and to be here. And if you would be so kind and want to choose to make a donation, I would love it. It would be so awesome if you could donate to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I did put the link is rolling across the bottom, and I did put the link in the chat, mods. They give a lot of resources, a lot of guidance to families with missing children, a lot of preventative measures in place. They are an amazing resource support to the missing children community. So if you would be so kind, choose to, no pressure, go ahead and go over to the NCMEC if you would like to make a donation. So that's not even, you do not have to do it. It's just go ahead and do that rather than donate to me tonight. I'm more than happy to have you go over and give your donations to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I appreciate each and all of you, your hearts and everything. Thank you for being here. I hope this is something that we can do more often if we get a positive response and you all enjoy it, because some of us can't travel to the different vigils that are going on. I know specifically Sebastian's. So this is our way of honoring him. If you see Seth in the house, will you let me know, mods? I'm just going to start with a song while I'm waiting. Seth Rogers is going to do the opening prayer. I know that clicking's horrible. I apologize. I'm trying to get rid of it. Oops. Trying. It's this one right here. Sorry, guys. There we go. This credit to Seashore Annie.
Bright lights lived in Tennessee, came from the eyes of a gentle soul, a boy who just wanted to be himself. Did he have to play a role? Friends are all he longs for, this is all he craves. If only he knew the truth. A million friends he's made. Sebastian, dear Sebastian, an army marches to your name. Most are sincere with hearts of gold, others just play the game. You're deep in our hearts, you're in our minds. Come home, dear, to those who are kind. Who was it that blew out your candle? Who was it that turned out your light? We all know we saw the flashlights. Something bad happened that night. Sebastian, dear Sebastian, an army marches to your name. Most are sincere with hearts of gold, others just play the game. You're in our hearts, you're in our minds. Come home, dear, to those who are kind. Now it's time for justice, it's the least this child deserves. The guilty parties must feel on edge, living on their nerves. Bring Sebastian into the light. He has a life, he has a right. Let him live a life that's free, a future happiness and filled with glee. Sebastian, dear Sebastian, an army marches to your name. Most are sincere with hearts of gold, others just play the game. You're in our hearts, you're in our minds. Come home, dear, to those who are kind. We wait and hope for your return, to see your beautiful smile. Your dad has a million friends now too. Come on home and stay a while.
It's a beautiful song. Beautiful song, full credit to Seashore Annie, who's just written so many beautiful songs. We're going to be listening to several of them throughout the evening. She could not be here this evening, but we are honoring her music that she has written, and I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Sebastian Rogers has been missing 14 months today. He is one of 460,000 people reported missing each year. According to the FBI, 85 to 90% of those reported are missing children. We're gathered here today to remember all the missing, not to celebrate the mark of 14 months for Sebastian Rogers, because it's not a celebration, in my opinion. It's a recognition that we haven't met our goal, a recognition that there's so much more to be done, because this is about Sebastian. There's many children today and families who have an empty chair at their dinner table. There's toys not being played with, beds not slept in. And for those, I want us to all gather and remember today. Prayers up for everyone, those who are missing, those who are searching, and the loved ones left behind. Thank you for your kindness in the chat today. We're going to make sure that all positivity is what's in the chat. This is an evening to come together. It's not an evening of anything other than the focus on the children. You are welcome in here regardless of your perspective on any of the cases. I just hope so much that we'll all keep it positive and allow the mods too to enjoy the evening. I pray so hard Sebastian is found safe every day. I do too. And that song choked me up, and a lot of what we're talking about today is going to choke us up. And just let me know when Seth's in the chat, because I am going to play one more song for you while we wait. Sorry again, I tried to get my computer up and running, the new one.
Dear Father, it's now been one whole year since Sebastian vanished from sight. Where is he? It was dark on earth, but we know you saw what took place that night. He saw you. Dear Lord, our Father up above, please keep blessing us with your love. We need you. Lord, guide us on for another while to the boy with the world's most beautiful smile. We love you. We know you hear our every prayer, offered up in Sebastian's name. We ask you, oh Lord, with faith in our hearts, please end this evil game. Please end this evil game. We ask you now, Lord, for the big reveal. Show the world you saw and heard it all. We pray you'll guide the law to Sebastian. It's time for the egos to fall. It's time. Did they threaten the law? Was he the thud on the floor the night they stole him away? Are they fighting the cuffs, thinking it will be enough to secure their freedom today? They're wrong. We know you hear our every prayer, offered up in Sebastian's name. We ask you, oh Lord, with faith in our hearts, please end this evil game. Please end this evil game. Justice is traveling down those tracks. It's coming. It's heading in your direction. No matter the money you spend on lies, hate or deceit and deflection, we see you. Justice is coming, so hold on tight. When God decides the time is right, the guilty are waiting for the knock at the door. Well, that time is a-coming, that's for sure. It's time to lock away the guilty, the bad, and bring Sebastian home to his dad. Silence in the court today. It's time the judge had their say. Clear the haters, let the gavel land, and rid these monsters from our great land. Find Sebastian, that's an order. In the name of faith and law and order.
I will be right with you, everyone. When he comes in, I can just put it in the chat. I have it ready to go. Is that cool? I don't know how to text it. Oh, I guess I could go. Well, just because I'm in a live right now. No, and I'm sorry. I thought he... Sorry about that, you all. Seth is out of reception right now, so they're trying to get him to reception. So we are going to continue. Those songs are just lovely. I thank you all for being here. We are going to honor them. I have a slideshow of some of the missing children, some that we found, some that we're still looking for. And I wanted to read Ezekiel 34:16 because it offers hope. It says, I will seek the lost and bring back the strayed. And this verse emphasizes God's concern for the well-being and safety of those who are lost or missing, and offering comfort and assurance that God is actively involved in their search and their rescue. And as we come together tonight, let's remember that. Heavenly Father, lift us up tonight, that we will keep our hearts pure as we continue on, that all the children will have a voice, that we can bring Sebastian Rogers home, 14 months too long, Summer Wells, Michael Vaughn, so many, Lord. Watch over us this evening, bring unity, strength, and the power of our community. Thank you, Lord. With the Lord, nothing's impossible. Isaiah 41:10, fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous hand. It says, please, God, keep the missing children alive and safe, protect them from harm, shield their innocence, preserve their spirit. I plead with you, Lord, don't let this end in despair. Let their missing information reach someone who knows something, someone who can help bring them home. Stir the hearts of people who see it, Lord. Really what we're here to do is to talk about all the children to gather here. It's almost become an epidemic how many we have missing. There's so many missing children. Today, those 14 months that Sebastian Rogers was last seen, reported missing. He is now 16. He was 5'5" when he was last seen. We don't know how tall he is now. He could have facial hair. He wears glasses. He could wear contacts, different glasses. His hair could be a different color. We don't know, but we're looking and we're searching. And there's so many kids that need us to search. And I've searched for two children, or two people missing, Daniel Robinson out of Arizona and Michael Vaughn. I've been out to his area in Fruitland, Idaho. I have not had the ability to go to Tennessee to search for Sebastian Rogers yet. Hopefully he will be located before I ever get that ability, but I do have someone today here who's willing to come on and talk about their time searching for Sebastian, and actually boots on the ground for Sebastian Rogers. And that will be a little bit in a few minutes. Sebastian has a lot of awareness being raised, billboards going up all over the place, national media, America's Most Wanted interview coming up. So much with his name, and it's so positive. And such a high reward, let's pray that someone says something, that we have a path that leads us to him. Light a candle tonight for all the missing. Put one in your window, light a candle. I have one lit. It's all positive. He has an active Amber Alert still. The billboards are up. We need to keep the faith, because kids don't vanish without a trace. Sebastian had blondish, brownish hair. Had when he went missing. We don't know what color it is now. Hazel and brown eyes, depending on mood, attitude. Seth explained to us. And he is missing a lot of what he needs to be home for. Sebastian did not run away. There's an investigation going on, and he is one of many not brought home, but today is 14 months that marks that we recognize Sebastian Rogers. I would like to play one more song before we talk about what it's like to search, what it was like to search for Sebastian. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about my search experiences. Then we have a slideshow of children, other people missing, as well as some more songs from Seashore Annie. Thank you for being here. Sebastian's Army. All the children need a voice, and the billboards going up are now including summer. And I'm going to come say my thank yous right after this song. They're now including Summer Wells, which is a fabulous thing. So many have begged, pleaded, why can't Summer be part of this? Well, she is now. And it's just absolutely so wonderful to have her be able to be a part of this. Full credit to Seashore Annie.
There were no smiles when he ate his last meal, no glint of happiness. There were no smiles when he ate his last meal, no glint of happiness to see. Had you told him he was leaving? Did he need to pack a bag to flee? Would it be a long journey? How did you feel then? Happy he'd gone or deeply sad? Did someone plan this would be the end? That morning, the dawn chorus falls silent. Was the air filled with shock and gloom? Does the house feel empty now? No squeals of laughter from his room. Can the next Tennessee sunrise bring glad tidings that Sebastian's been found and brought out of hiding? An innocent child, oh that beautiful boy, while a million hearts ache. You smiled in court. Was he really no more than just your toy? Look around, we are all distraught. Look around, we are all distraught. Did that young cherished heart cease to beat? Did the family tree wither and die? You signaled he's gone, but where we ask, is telling the truth such a hard task? Did something in you crumble? Do you miss his smile? Who comforts him now when he's hurting? Or was caring never your style? We all want Sebastian found safe and well, a chance for his story to tell. We're all broken, we are all sure Sebastian deserves freedom to maybe even write a book. An innocent child, oh that beautiful boy, while a million hearts ache. You smiled in court. Was he really no more than just your toy? Look around, we are all distraught. Look around, we are all distraught. Ooh.
I love what Seashore Annie writes there, where she says, sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone is simply to include them. Sebastian wanted friends. He wanted to be included. I just was able to, I had sent the link to the wrong email, so I just was able to text the link. So as soon as Seth can get into reception, he'll join us, and we're going to continue on though. Exclusion is a horrible weapon. Sebastian wanted friends, and boy, he has the friends now, doesn't he? He has a lot of friends. And I am going to put the link for someone to come up and speak about about Sebastian. Sassy is going to join us because she was boots on the ground. Sassy, you can come up anytime. I'm just going to leave this on Sebastian's page. There's Sassy. I'll go ahead and this link is for Sassy. She's going to come up and talk about her boots on the ground. Oh, there she is. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Sassy.
Can you hear?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Let me turn my speaker off and hold on a second.
Real quick, Sassy, I'm going to say thank yous real quick to those who have donated. NJs, thank you so much for the Primetime Buzz membership. Always pleasure having you help grow the membership and the family reunions. Thank NJs if you receive that. And welcome to our family. And Donna, welcome to our family. Donna 66. Sharon Marlowe, thank you so much for your sweet donation. Sebastian, God's promises that the evil will know no peace for what they have done. Blessings, Seth and all in chat. Thank you, Sharon. Absolutely. We're going to bring him home and get justice. Thank you, Raymond, for gifting a membership. Saturdays, 1 p.m. We have reunions. They're a good time. I appreciate you're willing to donate to the channel, and thank you for all your support. And please thank Raymond if you received that. Wonderful membership. Lady Roses, thank you so much for this. I love the little tutu for the super sticker. That tutu is so cute. Thank you very much. And perfect pun, aka Jenny Mao. Children are a heritage from the Lord. Amen. Thank you for that sweet donation. Yes, they are. They are definitely a gift. Lady Roses, thank you again. Bring all the missing beautiful children home. Amen. Amen. They really are special, and we need to do better by them. Sorry about that, Sassy.
No problem. Amen.
So I wanted to start with you as before we went into the other children, because you've actually searched with Sebastian, and I've been in locations where I searched for other kids. So I thought we'd start with you, and you could tell your story, your feeling. What led you to search for Sebastian, the teenager you didn't know? What was it like, the feeling doing that,
Yes.
being there? Would you search again?
Absolutely. Okay. First of all, I just want to say that being boots on the ground doesn't mean you have to climb mountains and hike into rough terrain. There are other ways to be boots on the ground. And I'm honored to be here. So thank you, Jay.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing your experience.
Sure.
And I don't know how much you want to share with them, but you go ahead.
Well, I'll try to make it as short as possible. But, I first started paying attention to Sebastian's case about the same time as the Madeline Soto case, who went missing on the same day as Sebastian. In Madeline's case, a suspect was arrested shortly after. So I felt like justice was served in a timely manner, and I was so relieved. And that's when I started concentrating on Sebastian's case. I think I fell in love with Sebastian because he reminded me of my son at that age, with glasses and the same hair color. And that is also when I realized YouTube was a platform where I could join an army of like-minded individuals who were all fighting for justice. And it was a great way to be able to discuss and communicate, even if it was through a chat room type setting. So I found my favorite creators who support Sebastian and started watching them daily. And I had recently retired and had a lot more time on my hands. So here are the stories about my 2 times that I was boots on the ground in Tennessee.
Oh, I didn't realize it was twice. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Amazing.
So it was announced that there would be a vigil for Sebastian on a Saturday in August 2024. And also a meeting of the voices in front of the Sumner County Sheriff Office.
Oh, I recall that, yes.
On the following Monday, yes. So I made plans to go. Just a side note, before I tell this story, I have to admit I was scared to attend the meeting of the voices on Monday because some YouTubers were calling it a protest, and Chris Proudfoot threatened us by saying, "There's a law in Tennessee where it's okay to run over protesters with your car." I don't know if anybody remembers that. I'm sure you do. And I thought seriously about not going. But before that, I read the laws and found out that there was a proposal to have a law put into effect a couple of years ago, but it was shot down. So it was only half truth. So I headed to Tennessee, still unsure if I would go to the meeting of the voices. So I went to my first vigil at the brewery in Clarksville that Saturday in August, where I knew no one. I recognized BHB right away, so I met her first and some of her mods. And later that day, I met Mr. and Mrs. E, Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy, Seth, and Tony and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy to meet people that day because there was outside seating, inside seating, and there were a lot of people walking around. Before I knew it, I was driving my car in the Ride for Sebastian, following all the decorated cars.
Aww. What was that like?
It was awesome. Yeah, actually, I was playing one of I was crying the whole way because I was playing that first song that came out for Sebastian called "We Will Never Stop Searching."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Seth was way in the front in his on his motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't even know I was going to be in that Ride for Sebastian. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll go.
You already had me tearing up, but keep going.
So the day went great until we got back from the ride, where we soon found BHB talking to police across the street. And I think we all know what happened after that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the day I felt I was truly a part of Sebastian's army.
Mm-hmm.
So by Monday,
led you out looking.
Pardon me.
And that's what led you to look.
Yes, that's what led me to continually want to search. I don't know if you want to call it searching, but putting up flyers to me is also searching.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the following Monday, I finally got the nerve to attend the meeting of the voices, and I'm so glad that I did, because no one got ran over, and I met some more new friends there. I remember Tony Mathis coming up to me and shaking my hand and saying, "Thank you so much for being here. You have no idea how much we appreciate it." And he was so sincere, and it just warmed my heart. So
yes, every time he's called me, he's a great mentor. He's wonderful to talk to. He gives very good guidance, advice, and strength, when we're going through all of this. So I agree. He's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Good. So that was outside the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. And so that day went well. That's the day FBI announced the $50,000 reward. So after that meeting, I spent the rest of the day putting flyers out at local parks with a girl that I met at the meeting of the voices. And we both put up our very first yard sign on a busy street in downtown Hendersonville.
Aww.
After getting permission from the store owner. And I finally felt like I was doing something to help. So months passed, and I was all set up to go to my second vigil in October, but I had to cancel due to a hurricane that was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Normally that would not have deterred me, but my cat just went blind a little bit prior to that, so I couldn't leave him alone. So I had to cancel that, and I was really disappointed. And over the next 4 months, I felt like I was losing touch with these great people that I had met, Sebastian's father and his army.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the good things about being boots on the ground, But my next opportunity to go to Tennessee came in this past March of 2025. And that would have been my third vigil, but it was to be my second vigil.
Mm-hmm.
My plan was so now I'm better, I'm a little more organized and know a little more about what to do and where to go. And my plan was to put up 10 yard signs and 40 flyers that I picked up when I got there.
Wow.
And I wanted to get answers to some things that had been on my mind, because so much had happened in the past 7 months, you all know.
Mm-hmm.
So I went a week early before the vigil to make up for wasted time. So the last week of February, my plans were I wanted to go to, besides putting up flyers, I wanted to go to the Texas Roadhouse to see what the front of the building looked like and what the pickup window looked like. And I wanted to see where Green Hoodie came from out of the bushes. And I wanted to see where Katie parked and how many doors were accessible. And I wanted to talk to the manager to see if that black cap guy still worked there.
And what did they say?
Well, she said that I did talk to her, and he was already gone, but all she could tell me was that law enforcement talked to everyone that worked there.
Okay.
Okay, so they know.
So they're all clear.
They know. I'm hoping that black cap guy told them what he heard. That's all I can do is hope. But I wish, I could have gone last October. Maybe I could have, maybe he would have still been working there. I don't know. But, in the video where he started coming in the door after delivering roadside service.
And looked right over there.
They all looked.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I can think of now, I still wonder what made him look. But I kind of think it was Sebastian yelling at his mom to open the car door, because it's like, what took her so long? He stood up there for a long time because she was dealing with this green hooded person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anyway.
In your opinion?
In my opinion. Well, no, she did stand there for 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Or no. I'm sorry. Green hooded person stood there for 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but yeah, allegedly, in my opinion.
Okay.
Anyway, so I also wanted to go by Warsham's, which is now called Beach Market. I went there and talked to the workers that were there, and they told me the video was erased by the time law enforcement got there a week after Sebastian went missing.
Mm-hmm.
They were very kind and caring, and they let me put up flyers and road signs outside their store. And I found a road sign that had fallen on the ground, so I picked it up and secured it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I found a lot of fallen signs as I was driving around on this.
Leather, probably,
or just maybe when they put this the sign in the ground, maybe it was hard and they couldn't get it in all the way. So it was quite wobbly, and the wind blew it out. Is what I'm thinking. Yep.
That makes sense.
So I think that we need to encourage people to fix road signs that fall down. Doesn't look like anybody's doing that. Let's see.
And there's a lot of people local in the area who are in our chat and around. So if they hear that, because they're always asking how they can help. So I'm sure if they hear this, they'll start looking for that kind of stuff.
Okay, that'd be great, because I found that you're
communicating that.
Good, thank you.
And I know KP said that a lot of the businesses have once they put flyers up, they come down. And so if they've been put up in an establishment, we have to cycle back.
Yes, and I did that once at this gas station. I was going to see if I could put a road sign out, and they said that the manager just took down the Sebastian flyer, and after a year, he's like, "It's been a year, you can take that down." So I said, "Oh, but this is a brand new flyer with a $400,000 reward." So they took it. I hope their boss allowed them to put up the new flyer. So that's another thing people local could do.
Yeah, absolutely. And Seth they have the website, we are sebastiansarmy@gmail.com too, if you want to reach out to volunteer, get bracelets, t-shirts, or flyers. Sorry, go ahead, Sandy.
That's okay.
Classy.
Okay, that's okay. So also while I was there, I wanted to drive to Memphis to see how long it took and hang up flyers at some bars near St. Jude's. And I'd been wanting to do that for a long time. People were worried about me at downtown Memphis bars. So my daughter came and went with me.
Oh, fun.
And I think she might be in the chat right now watching.
Hello.
But there's just a warm feeling that you get from being boots on the ground.
I
agree. You feel like Sebastian is following you and giving you a hug and thanking you. So I didn't do a whole lot of hiking, but mostly I drove around putting up flyers and signs. I was worried about going on private property a lot.
Absolutely. Don't ever go on private property, my friends, if you're searching without permission.
Yeah.
Because then it doesn't become you're searching, it becomes something illegal. And you just don't want to get yourselves in those positions.
Exactly. It can be frightening. Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm actually, I drove up north, northern Sumner County towards the Kentucky border, and there were no flyers anywhere. There was actually one flyer right off I-65, but other than that, there was not a flyer anywhere. So I put up all kinds of flyers up in northern Sumner County. And
Well, the beauty is we have billboards up now too.
that's right. Yeah, I know. That's so awesome.
Many.
So
Many,
awesome.
many.
So awesome. Yeah, we're bringing the awareness back. That's what's
Mhm.
happening. It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing I did before I ever reached Hendersonville was I stopped in a town called Cleveland, Tennessee, which was on the way to Hendersonville, because there was a tip someone gave
Yes, the Walmart.
About having seen Sebastian at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I mean, I have all the hope in the world. And so I had to go there. And
absolutely.
Before I went, I found some child and family service locations and a home that took in kids. I'm not sure what that was all about, but I posted flyers all up and down the streets with hopes that Sebastian might be close by. I mean, what do you get to lose?
You found a home in Cleveland like that?
Yes, it sounded like I was hoping I can look the name up of the place, but I also there were businesses, and then there was one a home. I forget what the name of it was. I should have looked it up before I got on. So anyway, that was my boots on the ground all week. And at the end of this week-long trip, my daughter and I went to the vigil, and we sat in the back because I didn't really know anyone. And well, Seth and team came in at the last minute, probably because they didn't want any drama, and sat in the front row. So I really only talked to a few people. I did finally get to meet Justin. Before that, I talked to some girls that I thought may have been in some of my chats, and they scoffed at me like I was crazy. So obviously they were from hate channels.
We only think we're famous.
Right? Well, I just wasn't expecting. I just wasn't expecting to talk to strangers that were hate channel people, you know? That's all. I don't want to be famous. But actually, my daughter and I were thinking about, my daughter and I actually thought about wearing wigs so nobody would recognize us. I mean, there was a lot of, you know, scary threats going on. So
and that's why I wanted us to gather today, is just to put that focus back where it should be. You know, because boots on the ground, like doing that, not all of us can do that. I can't do that in Tennessee, and we all do prayers and signs and flyers, and some have them in their car windows and tell Sebastian's story and share his face, and we do what we can do, right?
That's right.
And it is very
I'm not expecting anybody. I just, you know, like I said, I recently retired, and so I have time, except for my blind cat holds me back a little bit. For him, I'd probably be there all the time.
Was there any specific area that you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, was there any specific area you felt like if anyone was wanting to go search could pick up where you left off? Or
sure, yeah, there are definitely. Yeah, I don't know if I want to talk about it right now, because I actually have made another channel because I don't want to get harassed, and you know, like everybody does if they get too close or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I'm thinking northern Sumner County, because it's still home.
Yeah,
it's still home. It's still home to the families, the step families.
That's very true. And you know, when you're boots on the ground, you feel so close, you know. And I remember when I was out where Michael Vaughn in Fruitland, Idaho. I went out there for the 1 year mark, and I wanted to get a context of the area, because we were worried that someone who lived there for a long time would know the farm roads out of that neighborhood. And indeed, you know, we drove the farm roads out of that neighborhood.
Yes.
And it's those things that you can't get your eyes on and feel for till you're there.
I totally understand.
And I will tell you this, when I went out there, I went directly to Red Ring Road, and it was before they had excavated, before any of the suspects were ever mentioned. And I went there because they live the Wanderas live next door to 2 registered sex offenders.
Oh,
Who
wow.
I was on Google Earth with a team, and we were looking at all the RSOs and how close they were. Well, we saw their RV steps down and the door open on, when you go.
My gosh.
Yes. And I can't remember. I think they had it on the date. I'm not good at that, but we had the date. And so that was that was the first place I went.
Okay.
And, I'm staring at the RSO's home, and,
You
I have,
know,
I have a person with me, and you get this feeling, right?
mhm.
And you feel like you are so close yet so far.
Yes.
And that's how I felt, and it really shook me up. And then I was right next door to the Wondrous house.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I
Yeah.
have to believe
And
that.
then I see a few, August, September, 4 months later, that's where they're excavating, and literally shook.
Oh, really?
I was
Oh,
shaking because I
see?
was that close.
I believe in intuition.
We don't know how close we're going to get, right? So anywhere we look, well,
Wow.
anywhere, because you just never know
Right.
that's how close we were.
Right. I went to the northern Sumner County 3 times. The third time, my daughter went with me, and
Mm-hmm.
we parked my car and drove her car because I was so paranoid that somebody would see my car driving around, 2 days in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, that's another thing is,
mm,
if I went out there, I would park my car at a rental agency because of all the stuff going on and rent a car. It's just terrible, the situation, right?
right.
It's just really bad. So I appreciate you sharing. Are
Well,
there
thank
any,
you.
are there
Um,
any questions?
no, I mean, I don't have, yeah. Oh, you mean from them? From me?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So many questions.
No, I
Any
don't have any.
questions? Oh, it looks like we're good. You've
Okay.
given a really good explanation.
Well, those are my 2 stories about the 2 times, or that is my whole story about the 2 times that I was boots on the ground in Tennessee. Yeah.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you. It was an honor to be here. Thank you for
I
letting me.
appreciate you sharing that, because I really wanted someone who was boots on the ground for Sebastian, and because I have not been, and I truly appreciate you sharing your story. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And I want to go on with our slideshow, but
Thank
I want to tell you a little bit more about with Michael Vaughn.
Right.
We went out there for context, and when we were walking through, we didn't bother the family in any way. Um, we were just getting that context, right? And we found a tunnel that led out of his neighborhood under the road to an abandoned factory.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it
No
was
way.
things like that. And Reverend Donna had been mentioning it,
Oh my God.
abandoned factory. So I messaged her and, you know, kind of described it, and she didn't think it was it, but it's those little things that get your heart palpitating.
Wow. I had no idea you did all that or went through all that.
You go out, and we went into a shed in that abandoned factory, and
That's
there was a
amazing.
rolled up tarp, and it looked like it could have been, someone in that.
Gotcha.
As I'm reaching down to that tarp, my heart was just beating.
Gotcha. Oh my
Because you
gosh.
just never know.
Yeah, you don't.
But we got to look, right?
Yeah.
And then I went looking, Daniel Robinson, a geologist out of Arizona,
Oh,
went missing right around the same time as Michael Vaughn and Summer Wells, same year, July. And he went to the desert to do a job, and he's never been seen since. So I went to a desert search there, and that was a really neat, organized search. It was, arm length to arm length. It was a grid search. You checked in through an app. There was a command post set up. They gave a briefing beforehand. You checked in with an app, so every step you took, it was really basically reported to them, so they knew where they didn't have to look again.
okay.
And
That's
I
amazing.
had the ability to meet Daniel's father, David, and
Oh,
what an incredible human being.
really?
I wish he and Seth could meet.
I was going to say, it reminds me of Seth.
Absolutely.
Mm.
He moved out to Arizona from, I believe it was Georgia or one of the Carolinas, when he found out Daniel was missing. And he stayed here over 2 years searching by himself, because he didn't get much support from law enforcement. And a lot of the things, if you're not from here. The desert is like a playground for bodies and crime
Yikes.
and the cartel.
Oh,
So a lot of times it takes a lot to get them to want to go in there if they don't think someone's still in there, sadly. And they gave him a lot of pushback. He didn't have, but so he had to get a crew out there on his own, and he was there every Saturday in the desert. And he started a channel for himself, and a very respectable channel. It's not for himself, it's all about Daniel. But he's still looking. Daniel's still missing. But just meeting the parent, he took me in the little cart, ATV vehicle, because I had
okay.
to get back to my car, and he showed me where Daniel was last. He showed me where they found a sock. It's just surreal to, be there, and you realize this is real life.
To be in the inner circle of
Hmm. To see a
everything.
father say, "This is where they saw my son's sock."
Oh, wow.
Those things really hit home. And
What
wow,
was Daniel's last name again?
Robinson.
Robinson.
Robinson, yes. And I also went with his dad to the homeless community in Phoenix to pass out flyers. We got separated, so I did not get out of my car.
Okay.
It was, but we had flyers down there and everything, and he was
Well,
anywhere he could go.
I just want to mention one other thing before I forget. You mentioned the RSO thing, and one thing I had done was looked up all the the register, the RSOs, yes,
Mhm.
and put them on Google Maps. And I went to that section of Hendersonville, and I concentrated on putting flyers up all over the place. Just in my mind, I'm thinking, if Sebastian was abducted, maybe somebody around that neighborhood would recognize him on the dark web or something.
Mhm. Absolutely. We don't, that's the thing, is we don't know.
Right.
We surmise, we form our opinion. We just have no idea where Sebastian was.
So we have to
Look everywhere.
try to communicate everywhere. Yeah.
Hmm. And I will say, I know I want to come and unify tonight, and all of us realize that we're all here for Sebastian. And, I had someone reach out to me who has a very different perspective on this case. There's no green team, but you refer to us as the green team. There is no green team, but they respectfully reached out to me in a comment on my chat, or under a video, and clarified something that they wanted me to know.
Okay.
And they were very respectful, and quite frankly, I respected the respect of not coming in, guns blazing, and I gave a respectful response and asked a question. Now, that's communication. We don't have to agree, right? And I just thought,
Right.
wow, that's amazing. We don't have to agree, but
Mhm.
she wanted something to be clarified, which I did, and I had a question. So if we could all communicate that way, we don't have to be on each other's lives or
Mhm.
love each other, right? But if we could communicate that way, because I really was pleasantly surprised. So I want to play one more song, and then I have a slideshow for all the children for us.
Okay. Thank
This,
you for
oh,
having
thank
me.
you, Sandy. You could stay up, go down, whichever you want, my friend.
I'll go ahead and turn StreamYard off.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience.
You're welcome. I hope it helped.
It does. It is, boots on the ground is powerful. We can't all do it at all times, but it is powerful. And to meet the parents or the family, and
Mhm.
or not even just to see an area that we're talking about all the time, like I
Yes.
did Fruitland, it was shocking to me how close the police
Mhm.
station was to where he was taken. I thought, also the interstates right there to Oregon. It
Uh-huh.
was, and it ended up being someone right in the neighborhood.
Wow, that's crazy. Some things just make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they say there may be more. So I wonder, when he said that, if they do have more people than the four. So interesting. But I'm going to share a song, and then we're going to start a slideshow of the kids. And I'm going to tell you about some of the kids that we know been missing and where they are now, or what's happening
All
with
right.
their case.
Did Seth ever join us?
Oh, wait, let me check my phone.
Oh,
Sorry. He will let us know. He was out of reception. He didn't get the link because I sent it to the wrong place. So
okay.
he was out of reception, and they were trying to get a hold of me, and I didn't answer my phone for 2 hours because I
Okay.
was trying to get that computer.
Right.
So once he's back in reception, I sent the link. So I'm hoping he'll get here. Kind of my bad on that. So
All right, cool. Well, I'm going back in chat.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Credit again to Seashore Annie. Her music is lovely. And this is for all the you.
You were there, I needed you. Oh, mama, I needed you. I needed you. The smile stopped, the anger grew. No, 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 mama, I needed you. I needed you. It's been 2 years since I felt your love. Why, mama, I needed you. I needed you. The silent cries into my pillow at night. The ache in my heart, it just wasn't right. Did I let you down? Can I fix it now? Please, mama, I need you. I need you. I couldn't tell about the hell. I kept it in. It was a sin. Who's crying now, mama? I needed you. I need you. It's been 2 years since I felt your love. Why, mama, I needed you. I needed you.
That song brings me to tears. That song brings me to tears. So much. I needed you. Think of all the children that needed help. Holly S., thank you so much. You are loved. Sebastian, you are loved. Yes. Thank you for that sweet donation and that cute puppy dog face. Thank you so much, Lady Roses. Bring all the missing beautiful children home. And we're going to show you some of those missing beautiful children now that are not home. And we're going to get them up here right now. Boy, that brought tears to my eyes. Think of all the kids who just, that's their cry, right? This is, make sure we're good. This is Jonathanhoang. Jonathan was reported missing March 31st of 2025, less than a month ago, out of Arlington, Washington. Jonathan is 21. His parents now have legal guardianship. The reason being is he is high-functioning autistic and a vulnerable adult. So therefore, in order to get law enforcement to stop looking at him as a 21-year-old, they ensured that they had guardianship so they would search for him. The family has gone to the Washington State Attorney's Office to complain about the local law enforcement's handling of the investigation. They pulled out, said there was not much more they could do because he was 21. And the family went to the FBI, who said file a complaint to the state attorney generals. They have an attorney was put on, by day 12, I believe it was. And they had to hire a PI of their own. They have a GoFundMe to help with that. The footage that the PI was giving to law enforcement wouldn't look at. But after the state attorney general got involved, they said that they met with the family for clarification, and we're going to keep in touch. We're going to keep going on leads. We're looking at the footage the PI had turned in. Now the family has taken all those claims, and the National Autism Society has responded to them for them, and it's quite the document. We read it on one of our lives. They took every claim that the sheriff's office had made, and they countered it. The Autism Association countered it with the facts. So Jonathan left very strangely similar to Sebastian Rogers' story. He loves to go on walks. He came home after a walk. He always asks for permission, not a wanderer, not an eloper, always asks for permission, and came back from his walk at 7:30 p.m. on March 30th, and went to his room in khaki pants, a green shirt, and they believe black slip-on shoes, carrying his iPad. When Mom went to check on him at 6:30 in the morning, he was not there. Now, it had been reported he didn't have shoes on. Now, the family has come out and said that they had told law enforcement a pair of shoes were missing from the front door, a pair of the mother's black slip-ons. So they don't believe he is barefoot. He left without a jacket, his cell phone. Very similar situation. No sightings of him that we know of. Now, there had been some sightings that turned out not to be the case. However, the family did come out about a week and a half ago now and said, after the article about going to the state attorney general because they were not happy with local law enforcement's case investigation, they came out and said at the bottom of that article that they may know where Jonathan may be. So that maybe could be part of the reason they're getting legal. They got the guardianship enacted so they could bring him home safely. I don't know. I haven't heard an update on that. But Jonathan is 21, Arlington, Washington, endangered, missing adult, high-functioning autistic male, and still is not home. His parents, his family are tolerating nothing but a proper investigation. That is Jonathanhoang. Do any of you have any questions about Jonathanhoang before I go on? I think Sebastian looks like Seth too. Yes, very much so. Prayers, peace, and strength for Sebastian. Support for Tony, wife, dog, Nick Hong, and all praying for Sebastian's return. Amen. Amen. I shared with all of you a message from Seth. I used my platform, about all that and what's going on. And it's heartbreaking. It's sad about, Tony losing a child, and that we even had to discuss it. But I did, and it's sad and not even okay that was the discussion or had to be. We need to all stop focusing on each other and start focusing on the children. The power of this community could be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So Jonathan is still missing. This is William Tyrell, 3 years old, last seen on September 12th, 2014 in Kendal, New South Wales, Australia, last seen with his foster mother at his foster grandmother's house. The story is he was playing in the yard and went around the corner of the house, and they never saw him again. Very rural area. There's been a recent inquiry into the case. They are still trying to, the suspect has been considered to be the foster mother. They think perhaps he fell off the balcony at the foster grandmother's, and she got scared and hid him allegedly so she wouldn't lose custody of the other child. And that is William Tyrell, Australia. 11 years. He'll be 14 now. He was in his little Spider-Man outfit right here. This is the last photos taken of him in his little Spider-Man outfit. Still missing. This is Kyron Horman, 7 years old. Many of us know this case. Devastating case. Kyron loved CSI, and at 7 years old, went to a science fair, loved tree frogs, did an experiment, was so ready, had his board ready. Dad said goodbye to him. He went with his stepmother to the science fair, and it was in the morning before school on June 4th. This was before the school had cameras. Portland, Oregon. The stepmother, Terry Horman, claims to have left him there, and she left the school. Now, there are reports of people seeing him leaving with her. Her time after the school was chaotic, claiming different things. I went here, my baby was sick. There's also a baby involved that she had biologically with Kyron's father. And her best friends, who usually was able to get a hold of while at work, because she ate lunch with the other people could not get a hold of Terry's best friend. The only suspect there ever has been is the stepmother, Terry Horman. Now, Terry Vasquez. She also, they found out after Kyron went missing that she had earlier tried to arrange a M for hire on Kyron's father, her husband. So he took the baby and left the home. He is still missing, and it is believed to be at the hands of his stepmother, Kyron Horman, Portland, Oregon. His mother, Desiree, very vocal, never stops interviewing, talking. Devastating story that your child goes to school. And the thing of it is he didn't get off the bus. That's how Dad knew he wasn't there, but stepmom was right there too with Dad. They went up to this, they called the school, went up to the school. So that's always so scary when you know that they have an 8-hour jump on you looking for them, right? This is Holland Snap from Kingsport, Tennessee, not far from Summer Wells. Layla Santinello was also from Kingsport. Helen was 19 years old when she was last seen on October 5th, 2023. She was reported missing October 22nd, 2023. Seems to deal with some challenges. However, the last report was that she was with a much, much older, like 50-year-old man. Rumors being he allegedly assaulted her, but we have not found Helen Snap. Now, originally, the Kingsport, Tennessee law enforcement said Layla and Holland's cases were not related. However, Recently, I think it was in March, I read that they think Holland's disappearance and Layla's could be related. They're from the very same area, very similar in timing, and some of their acquaintances overlapped. That is Holland Snap. Apparently, the man she was hanging out with was over 50 years old, and the rumor is he very badly physically beat her. This is Layla, also from Kingsport, Tennessee, 20 years old. Last seen June 2023, running away from a hotel. Now, Layla would not normally disappear because she has, at the time, a darling 2-year-old daughter, Nova Grace. This is the young lady that they're saying she and Holland's cases may be connected. 10/5/2023, June 2023. So, still missing out of Tennessee. Lots of Tennessee kids that we've covered. This is Elijah Vu out of Wisconsin. Elijah was reported missing, and there was an arrest. He's been found. Rest in peace. It was a recovery, not a rescue. Little guy was sent by his mother to her vicious boyfriend he was a little bit before the age of 3 to learn how to be a man. Well, that man, there were photos on the mother's phone of him blindfolded and bruised laying on a bed. So Elijah was the victim of his mother's boyfriend and his mother's neglect. Rest in peace, sweetie. And there was an arrest. I believe both of them were arrested, the mother for neglect, and the mother's family was begging them not to let her out. Heartbreaking story. Need to make a 3-year-old be a man. It was a terrible story of abuse. He was put in cold showers. He was given, I think it was 1 diaper, and if he filled it too much, he was punished. It was just terrible. Terrible little angel what he went through. Seems it's just heartbreaking, and that is Elijah Vu from Wisconsin. Found, recovered, sadly, but there's been an arrest. Maddie Soto, who went missing the very same day that Sebastian Rogers did. She was found. Sadly, it was a recovery. There has been an arrest, and again, Maddie was the victim of her mom's boyfriend, another boyfriend, Stephen Stearns. We remember Maddie Soto today, too. Michael Vaughn, 5 years old. Last seen July 27, 2021, Fruitland, Idaho. Michael is one of the 1% that we know of, that we are hearing so far before the case is solved. He is the 1% taken from someone unknown to him. Someone in his neighborhood, allegedly. Fruitland, Idaho police, they are a very small town, but they have never paused for a minute. They've often said they cannot share any investigative information, but they have made sure that Michael stayed in the forefront of communication. Even when they had nothing to report, they reported how they felt. I've seen that sheriff tear up, J.D. Huff, choke up, and he would report that. We're working on it. It's an ongoing investigation. If you know anything, say it, because we're coming for you. You're not going to do this in our community. We are here to protect our community. You will not take one of our own. This is one of our own. And guess what? After they excavated that front yard, that backyard, like I told you that I was standing next door to before they even had them on their radar, before they ever were there, they never gave up. They said, we're investigating, and then they were excavating. Then they did the press conference and put 4 suspects' faces up for the world to see. They had not even contacted 2 yet. And then in March 28th, less than a month ago, they went to Montana to see Brandon Shirtliff, one of the suspects, and they gave him 48 hours to tell them where Michael Vaughn's remains were, because Michael has been, according to Fruitland police, they believe Michael is deceased, that his remains were on Red Wing in the backyard and moved. So they gave Brandon Shirtliff 48 hours to let them know where Michael's remains were. And I hate saying remains. It breaks my heart. His mother's very ill. I mean, it's just hard to say. And he took off. A warrant went out for him and he was arrested and put in jail. That is the second arrest in this case. Sarah Wander was arrested also in the beginning when they were excavating for knowledge of the death and failure to report. Those charges were dropped with the ability to go back in and charge them again. After the excavation, though, they went to the DA, Fruitland, and said, here's everything, you can press charges. It didn't happen. They did that on July of 23. They did it again in 24, I believe, presented it again to the DA. So there is movement in that case, but my point is, look what they did and they were doing. And it's been 4 years almost. 4 years, but Michael has, that community, it has been, they've lifted Michael up, and we need to bring him home. His mom's really sick. So we need to pray for Michael too, all these children. Michael's situation is very crucial that we can bring him home. So Michael is the 1% right now. Strangers grabbed him right out of his neighborhood. And I've been there, a very safe neighborhood surrounded by farmland, and there's a splash park. Very safe. Very shocking that would happen, right? And out of all these children, he is the only one that we know of that was taken from by a stranger. I want to introduce this person to you, and I'm sorry they don't have many good pictures of her. Her name is Rose Bly. You may have heard her name because she is the aunt to Summer Wells, who is also missing. Yes, Rose Bly is the daughter of Grandis, Summer Wells's grandma, Candace Bly. She is the sister to Summer Wells' mom, Candace Bly. They're both Candace Bly, which is why I call the grandma Grandis. Many of us do. She disappeared. She left her home. The story is she left her home after dinner and was heading somewhere to a friend's or a cousin's and didn't make it there. Now, I've read the friend come out on Facebook or the relative and say we didn't have plans that day. So I don't know. But her car was found like 30 miles away at like a truck stop. Rose has never been found. She had 2 young children, a rocky marriage. And rumor has it that she is the one who called CPS allegedly on Candace Bly, Summer's mom, in Wisconsin. And Candace had 2 children out there that were taken from her before Summer went missing and was even born. So the 2 common denominators in both disappearances, which any investigator would look at, and of course we would too, are Candace Bly, Summer's mom, and Grandis Bly, Summer's grandmother. Rose is part of FBI's most wanted, just like Sebastian is. She has not been seen or heard from. Very strange disappearance. Even stranger is, and I've got to find that clip, and if any of you have seen it, there was an interview with Grandis, Rose's mom, and she was watering flowers and planting them, and they asked her, about the disappearance, and she said what's therapeutic is working in her garden. That clicked with me right away, because what did Candace say they were doing the day Summer went missing? Planting in Grandis's garden, which Grandis later said no, she came home and went to bed. Another connection. If any of you ever see that interview, please send it to me. I have looked for it. I saw it about 3 or 4 years ago. So 2 people in one family missing. 2 children whose mommy, 2 little kids' moms, they're grown now, missing. Little Evelyn Boswell, 15 months old, also Tennessee, Sullivan County. 15 months old, missing, reported missing, but not for a while. But when she was reported missing by her grandfather, the search began. And it turned out she was on the property. Her mama had put her, look at that beautiful face down, had wrapped her in, no, let me get this right, had wrapped her in tinfoil, a blanket, and put her in a trash bag upside down in a trash bin. So her mother has been arrested and convicted. Oops, I spelled conviction wrong, excuse me. And will be spending the rest of her life in prison. That is Evelyn Boswell, 15 months old. Her mother took police on quite the goose chase, Casey Anthony style. Quite the lies. She was first arrested for lying to police, just like Casey was, because she told them the baby was one place, and she wasn't. So they got her for lying to police. She went to jail, and she never left again. But that first conviction, that first arrest, was for lying to police. And then they added on one. They hadn't found Evelyn yet when they arrested her. And they added on things as the investigation went. But they had her behind bars. And Mom has been found guilty. The reason I'm bringing up Evelyn is I want us to remember her, because so many of the missing children that we've covered, we've talked about, sadly, many have been found, and the ones who have been found that I'm bringing up, or any of them that I really could have brought up, have been found at the hands of someone they knew, family member, other than Michael Long. Very sad. Convicted. Look at that little sweet angel face. Oh, terrible. Heartbreaking story. All of them are, though. Let's pray for all the children. This is Harmony Montgomery. She is a failure of CPS. CPS needs federal databases, because Harmony was given to her father, who had a very violent criminal history in New Hampshire. Her mother was getting help for rehab, and the one thing she had asked is, don't give her to him, he's dangerous. When she got out, found out that they had given her to Adam Montgomery, her father, and she called and talked to Harmony once or twice, and Harmony was a nervous wreck, and he was saying, why do you say that to her, and things like that, and muting the phone. She could see her daughter was scared. And then after that one call, she could never get a hold of them again. And he had moved to Massachusetts. The uncle had reported him for Harmony having a black eye. CPS went over there, didn't pull her out of the home. And later on, they were evicted, living out of their car. And that was when Harmony was BEAT to death by her dad in a Burger King parking lot and on the way to Burger King. Harmony is still missing. However, her father, Adam Montgomery, has been convicted without her body. They found him guilty, and he still will not tell where his daughter is. He carried her around from place to place, put her in ceilings, tote bags, you name it. But still will not let anyone know where she is so she can be laid to rest properly. Her mother is still looking. People are still looking for her. So we remember Harmony Montgomery today. And I forgot to put the pink angel up for her. And she's a darling angel. Look at her. Disabled in one eye, blind, very much let down by the system. If we had had a federal database, New Hampshire could have tracked her in Massachusetts. They would have known what was going on. That did not happen. We need a federal CPS database because a lot of people who abuse move to dodge records. We need a federal database. Oh, brutal story. This 2021 was a rough year and I wonder if it had something to do with COVID. It was just brutal of children not being reported missing. Yes, please, dear Lord, hear our pleas. Thank you, Elizabeth Smith. Let me say my thank yous real quick. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you. IK3LZ3Y. Thank you for the super sticker. So appreciate you. Oh, hi, June. June gifted a Crime Time Buzz membership. Thank you so much, June. I so appreciate it. We have a good time at our reunions. We talk, we share things. I sometimes share things that I don't want to say out loud to all on the streets. We have a great group. We have a great family, subscribers, viewers. We're all one big happy family, but we also have a reunion family that joins. So on Saturdays. Thank you so much, June. Please thank June if you received that kind donation, and welcome to our family. Thank you, June. So this one's a tough one. One of the first year, right, that I was covering cases for about 5 months before I had to take a break to take care of my mother. And then I came back in June of this year, I believe it was. So Kamari Holland, bless her heart, 5 years old. Look at that beautiful face. Kamari was in custody of her father. Her mother showed up in December on the 13th and unexpectedly said, oh, she showed up at the door. That's not supposed to happen. She has, I believe, had supervised visitation. Kamari went running to the door, saw Mama. She asked if she could take her for the night. Her and the other child, I believe it's a brother. And he gave in. He let them go. And lo and behold, the next day, Mom wakes up and says, Kamari left while she was sleeping. And the search begins. Well, turns out Kamari's was found in an abandoned home that the man who her mother sold her to placed her. Her mother sold her for $2,500 to an R person who R'd her, tortured, and unalived her. And there is video footage, so there was often questions about whether Mom was there present in the motel room, because there is footage of Mom walking in the hallways. That monster got capital murder, and Mom pled guilty to trafficking. 5 years old. Her school said she was just so smart, loved school, so happy. Very, very sad situation. You know, we always say, well, would a parent do that? Right? Would a parent do that? Yeah, they do. And it's heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking, the things parents will do. That story I'll never forget. Not story, because it's real. That case I will never forget. Look at her. How beautiful. And that poor father. One night, and that woman, one night of giving her a sleepover, and she did that. Orson and Orrin West were taken away from their biological parents. The parents were trying to fight it because they didn't agree with what had happened. I guess mom came home, took one of the boys to the hospital because his arm hurt, and then CPS pulled the kids. That's what I know. I haven't delved deep into it. The kids went into foster care, and sadly, Trezell and Jacqueline West adopted them. Oh, I'm sorry, I put foster parents. Well, the foster parents adopted them. And they get, you get checks when you adopt foster children. Well, they got 2 checks for, adopting 2 of them. Sadly, the boys were not reported missing. And the family moved. And when they were reported missing, the parents did not come out to search. They claimed, they called and claimed that the boys had gotten away. They claimed they were wrapping Christmas presents and the boys got out of the backyard. But when I say they weren't reported missing, it's because they had been missing for a while before that, before they were reported missing by the adopted parents. They claimed they got out. Well, the neighbor across the street, whose camera pointed at the backyard where they would have gotten out, didn't see any kids leaving that backyard. Then he said he went and he drove around and they had footage of him coming, real quick drive, right? It wasn't like he was out driving for a long time. Real quick drive. So the search began. The family had moved to Bakersfield, I believe, California. And what happened is the DA and the grand jury indicted them. The DA came forth and said they were indicted after they got them in custody because they had tried to leave in a mobile home, a motorhome, an RV, and they were pulled over on the side of the road and arrested. And then we were told that they had been indicted for the unaliving of both boys and that they could prove that both boys were no longer with us. Now, neither boys have been found. So they're still missing, but both Trezell and Jacqueline are in prison. And sadly, I didn't listen and read all the documents in it because it was just really horrible, but they used their other children that were in the home to hurt these 2. Very sad story. I'm going to play a song for you called Why Weren't You My Lighthouse? And it just hits home. This is Summer Wells, 5 years old, missing Rogersville, Tennessee since June 15th, 2021. Another Tennessee child with an active Amber Alert. Very little at all reports of what's happening. Very little attempts to keep her case alive in the media. Parents are not searching. Mom never searched. The night that Summer was reported missing, Mom was the one who was with her. And Mom when law enforcement arrived, Mom stayed in the house. And the father, who was at work, is the one who told police what happened. He's the one who's pretty much always told the narrative because Mom doesn't like to talk and do interviews. The couple she's done, she walked off Dr. Phil and her interview this past June. So Summers had no voice. Her parents right away, the father started saying, we'll see her in the resurrection. It was very strange. It was daylight when she went missing. The grandmother has basically countered what the mother said occurred, and the sheriff said that she waited a couple hours to report her missing. Now Candace's friend has said, yes, at around 4:30, Candace called Marlena and said we can't find Summer. Summer was reported missing at 6:30. Very strange case also. a lot of noise, a lot of drama, but not a lot of facts. The lead detective, I believe, has only given one interview in all these years. The public information officer, we haven't heard from in a while. TBI did a report on June 15th, but it was about the importance of all the children as well. So, because they've got high profile cases in Layla, Holland, Summer, Sebastian, and they don't have these kids found, and they aren't even close. They're not putting their faces out there. If you go on Summer's page, like we did the other day, I believe her last update in TBI Newsroom is in 2023. Very sad, very sad. But guess what? At Night and Dog the Bounty Hunter have taken Summer Wells under their wing, and she is on the billboards now too. They're alternating. Some they're on together, some they're alternating. So Summer's voice is coming back. We are going to raise our voices for Summer. Summer Moon Utah Wells, Tennessee. This is Oakley-Carlson, 5 years old. Another sad letdown of the system. Oakley from Grays Harbor County. Oakley from Grays Harbor County, Washington. She was not reported missing. Her principal noticed she was not around. She was last seen February 10th of 2021. Reported missing December 6th of 21. So 10 months later. And that's only because a principal noticed she was not around, because the principal's daughter played with Oakley's sister. The sad thing about Oakley is she was being raised in a home by Eric and Jamie Jo Hiles. They love Oakley very, very much. Oakley was with them for 2.5 years, I believe. They were asked if they wanted to adopt Oakley. They were delighted, over the moon. They have so many videos of Oakley playing, smiling, going to Disneyland, going to cheer practice with Jamie Jo, reading with Eric, just beautiful smile, everything, that little personality. Well, they thought they were going to adopt her, but what happened is they pulled her from her loving foster home in November, right around Thanksgiving. Even though her few visits, Oakley had come home saying mommy and daddy were hitting each other and things like that, and they expressed their concern, she was put back in the home. That was a year before Oakley, November, about a year before a year later, Oakley was never seen again. Horrible documents later come out that when Oakley did go back to her home, pulled from her loving foster home that wanted to adopt her, she was kept in a cabinet under the stairs, screaming for food. A couch was put in front of that cabinet, and she'd often scream until she collapsed of exhaustion. She was made to sit and watch the family eat. She was mistreated, the scapegoat of the family. And the mother told the other siblings, Oakley is no more. She was eaten by wolves. Now, law enforcement and originally the parents, the father was a former police officer, but he got into meth and became a meth addict. He was arrested originally for alleged manslaughter, but they dropped those charges and gave him charges. He did time for not giving Oakley's siblings medication that they needed. And the mother was also put in jail, unrelated charges to Oakley, for the care of the children. But they are both out now. Oakley is not found. But the mother's friends, many, and investigators have said they thought possibly Oakley was sold for gambling debt or gambling money, because her mother was quite a gambler who enjoyed the casinos. They live on 10 acres out in Washington. Lots of property to be searched. Very heartbreaking story, because like so many, failure of the system put her back there. Or she'd be at Disneyland and celebrating birthdays and in cheer squads with her adoptive family. Oakleycarlson. We need to find Oakley. Lena Keel Sadar, 3, San Antonio, Texas. Last seen December 20th of 21. She was at the playground in her apartment complex. Her mother, who was expecting a baby, went into the home, and when she came back, Lena was not there. Now, the kids had gone, and a group of them followed each other around off the playground, but everyone came back but Lena. Camera footage had went out for a little while, which I find suspicious. That's very strange, and they still have not found Lena. This is Cody Bigsby from Hampton, Virginia. We remember Cody, but we have not found him. His father's been convicted for his unaliving. Corey Bigsby from Hampton, Virginia. Cody is still missing, 4 years old. Had several siblings, but it was Cody that the father unalived. In 2024, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in 2023, the Center for Missing and Exploited Children said there were 2,886 cases of missing children. In 2023, 59% of those children Amber Alerts were issued for. In 2023, 59% of the Amber Alerts that were issued turned out to be familial abduction cases. Familial abduction. A 10-year analysis from National Center for Missing and Exploited Children said they have a 98% recovery rate for kids on the autism spectrum. They also have an 84% recovery rate of accidental deaths of kids on the autism spectrum. 84% of them were drowning deaths. In 2024, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children had 27,800 possible child sex trafficking cases, 15 being the average age of child trafficking victims that were reported to National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. 1 second, I need to let my dog out. Excuse me, one moment. Thank you. The average age was 15 years old. 1 in 7 of reported cases to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in 2024 were victims of trafficking. Of the 29,000 missing children, 1 in 7 in 2024 were likely victims of trafficking. The risks, and we're going to end with a song here in just a second. The risks. Abductors who are unknown to the child. That 1%. The risk raises when the children are going to and from school. So everyone says, how can we prevent this? Right there. Walk your kids to and from school. Drive them. Keep an eye on them. The school age risk goes up tremendously on school days for missing children between the hours of 7 to 9 a.m. before school, after school from 3 to 4, and after the dinner hour, 6 to 7. Those are the times many children go missing. So how do we prevent that? is those times we make sure, because we know predators are out, that we keep an eye on the children. Most of them are on the streets playing, walking, or hiking, or biking, excuse me, and they're school age, because the kids younger than school age usually have parents with them. Several kids who have been reported to have been able to evade a kidnapper, an abductor. They ignored him or refused. They used their cell phone to threaten calling. They fought back. They screamed, made a noise. Someone else intervened, and the abductor left and released the child. Statistics are staggering how many kids we have missing. I'm going to play a song for you. Credit to Annie, Seashore Annie. It's beautiful. It's for all the missing children. Let me see which one it is. I think this is the one I wanted to share. Yes, this is it. Credit to Seashore Annie. It's a beautiful song. And we will end with this song this evening. And I thank you all for coming together for the children tonight. Sorry Seth couldn't make it in. I sent the link to the wrong place, and I did text it, but he's kind of not in reach right now for service. This is credit to Seashore Annie. Why weren't you my lighthouse?
Mama, why weren't you my lighthouse? Protect me from the rocks.
For all the children.
Mama, why weren't you my 911 to save me from his knocks? Mama, where are you? Can you hear me cry? Mama, I'm crying. Oh, mama, oh, why? Mama, will my someday ever come? Will I ever smile again? Mama, is someday coming to take away my pain? It's dark in here, mama. Please can you bring a light? I wanna see the sun again, mama. Here it's always night. Send that car for me, mama. Can I come home, please? I cry for you at night, mama. I'm always on my knees. Mama, why weren't you my lighthouse? Protect me from the rocks. Mama, why weren't you my 911 to save me from his knocks? I'm lost, I don't know this place. If I beg and always say please, will you come and find me, mama? I will do anything to appease. The clock on the wall, it stopped, mama. I don't know the time or date. Is this the lesson he threatened me with? A life that anyone would hate. Why weren't you my lighthouse, mama? Protect me from the rocks. Mama, why weren't you my 911 to save me from his knocks? Mama, will the bell ever ring to say it's time to come home? Will you hear it too, mama? Is it 'cause I have this chromosome? Is he still there? I have to ask. I know you love him so, but mama, I am your son. Why was it me who had to go? Don't leave me here, mama. You do know I'm here, right? Mama, mama, oh mama, I can't stay another night. You were supposed to build a fortress to always keep me safe. It's not too late now, mama. I'll be standing by the gate. Please come and get me and take me home. I can't stand another day of being all alone. Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful song. Luke 8:17 says, "For all that is secret will eventually be brought into the open, and everything that is concealed will be brought to light and made known to all." Light your candles tonight for the children. Psalm 119:105 says, "The word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." May we illuminate their way home. May we illuminate their locations. May we illuminate the path for those searching. Let's leave a light on. Thank you all so much for being here. Let me say my thank yous up here from you. Sassy, thank you for gifting 2 memberships. Thank you so much. Please thank Sassy if you've received one of our reunion memberships. We have a good time Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern. Sassy, thank you for giving others an opportunity and for coming up and sharing, being boots on the ground for Sebastian and how that felt. Thank you for contributing to both. Welcome in to those who receive it. Please thank Sassy. Gypsy, same to you, my friend. Thank you so much for gifting a Crime Time Buzz membership. I appreciate what all of you do as Sebastian's Army, and we are going to be the voice for the voiceless to all the children. Thank you. If you receive that gifted membership, please thank Gypsy. And Gypsy, thank you so much. And thank you to Miss NJ's again for expanding our family, for doing all that you do for us. Thank you so much. And if you receive that membership, please thank NJ's. And NJ's, thank you so much. We'll see you 1 p.m. Eastern Time Saturday. And welcome to the reunion, the family. And I'm probably going to do an extra members live this week, just so you know. Jen and Georgia, you're a doll. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a mod, a friend to many. We know you're going through your times too. And I hope this wasn't a tough night for you. We're thinking of you and your Kelsey, and prayers up for Kelsey and the family as well. Thank you so much, my friend. All of you, thank you so very much for all you do. Prayers up for all the missing. I'm sorry that Seth didn't get in here tonight. That's my bad. I sent him the link to the wrong place, and he was out of service area, but by the time I texted the link, but we will talk to him. He wrote his prayer and everything. So thank you for being here for Sebastian. 14 months too long. We need to bring him home. We need to bring him home. We need to bring all the children home. Have a great evening. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for being Sebastian's Army. Thank you for all you do and for your support of the channel. Blessings to all of you. Talk soon.